Hey ratbags, it's Jade with a big info dump today. The Casually Grounded stream has just finished and Eric did a solid and answered a huge amount of questions, clearing up confusion about 1.4, giving us teases even more about what's to come and really just giving some solid answers. Not everything, of course, more revealed, but certainly a lot of stuff that was a bit confusing. So I'm going to go through it now. Let's go. Leave a like if you find it useful. Go and check out all my other videos hyping up 1.4. The last grounded update for the Yoked is incoming very soon. Let's go. So I've already done a short on it because I thought it was that much of a big news drop, but there will no longer be a requirement to get every gold card to get 100%. This has been something that's kind of peed me off and a lot of others too. Previously, you could go ahead and get 100% just by completing everything in the game, i.e. getting all cards, finding all mint molars, all raw science, defeating all bosses. But in one of the last few updates, they changed it so that you'd have to get gold cards, and that was really frustrating for some. You might have had to have killed 800 creatures to get a gold card, and let alone taking on the bosses over and over again for a chance to get one. So that's a massive win. I do respect the grind. I like the idea that people could have that set for themselves, but to get the achievement and get that S-class score, it was a little bit harsh. There is going to be no new other creatures added. Previously during the PAX East showcase, they said there wouldn't be anything in terms of bosses, only the ant queens, and now they've confirmed there are no other creatures. So no earwigs, just like I said, no silverfish, and of course no lizards. They reiterated it just wasn't working out. So any hopes or dreams for any other creatures to be added, for now at least, no. And I honestly can't see that changing. Eric stressed that they're working on fixes and they're sure they'll have a lot of hot updates after the launch of the fully yoked update, but no planned content. The only slight exception to that is the baby ants that you'll be able to get, and they will be unique baby ants. So black ants, fire ants, and the red ants will all have their own unique baby. So I think that means RIP to infected black ants. We saw some of the body parts in some of the dev debug menu, but that looks like that might not be happening now. Unless they're classing it as not a new creature, just a variation. Ton of answers about New Game Plus. New Game Plus will increase in difficulty. Duh. Obviously, creatures are going to get more health, they'll do more damage, but also when they do happen, when you go and take on the bosses, we knew they were going to be getting these new attributes. So they're going to have the same ones they always have, but you might find that the first time you do New Game Plus, they'll have one brand new attribute. So it might be sped up attacks or it might be explosive damage. Do another New Game Plus and then they'll have two attributes. Now I do think there must be a limit at some point, even though New Game Plus can be just carried on and played over and over again. But probably all the way up to level 10, you'll find new attributes on the infused bosses every time that you play. So not swapping one in and out, which I thought would happen, but another one. So they're going to get increasingly more difficult with a new effect, a new ability like firing these sour static charges, etc. And that's going to increase. So by the time you get to New Game 9, New Game Plus, each boss will have 9 brand new effects that they can do, or new attributes or new abilities to take you out. I was confused about how the infused bugs would work. Would it be a case of when you start a New Game Plus, every wolf spider that would potentially be a infused creature would be decided there and then, so you wouldn't come across any normal ones? But it does look like it is just random, so it's a random chance of happening. So if you do want to maybe fight an infused wolf spider and you haven't come across one yet, then you go ahead and you kill the wolf spiders that are there, and then they've got a chance of spawning in as the infused version. Any creatures that are infused won't have any new resistances or attacks. They'll have the attributes like we've mentioned that can do lots of things like speed up the attacks or explosive damage, but they're not actually going to have any physical brand new resistances or defenses. So fire ants are still going to be weak against fresh damage. There's going to be no new build pieces. They did say there'd be 14 new ant related stuff, but it doesn't look like they're all just placeables, basically vanity or cosmetic items. We know that obviously we're getting things like the termite organ, but it doesn't appear to be any new additions in terms of like the rest of the termite set for the armor. And yep, so no new skins. There's not going to be a 4th or 5th tier of building materials or new material to build with. It's only going to be decor. When you begin New Game Plus, it will reset certain things like the shovel or the spade. So certain things I'm guessing as well, like the haze, you will have to plug once more. Of course, your base is going to be fine, anything you've built, all your items are going to be there, but certain world events will still have to be done again. We have not seen any tier 4 weapons yet. None of them were on show during the showcase, and Eric has said that in the gift that I showed you guys yesterday with all the new candy variants, that none of them were tier 4. Someone asked if there was going to be tier 4 armor, and he said no at first. Then he kind of hesitated and went, wait, hold up. And then he was basically like, I can't say. That pretty much confirms there's going to be some sort of tier 4 armor item coming. And yes, it does look like the candy variants, and I specifically asked about the jalapeno, will only be available in New Game Plus. Now I asked that specifically because I assumed that named new weapons like the jalapeno, which have got a very different model shape compared to anything else, would be something that we might be able to get hold of a bit earlier. But Eric did stress and say that any candy variants, they will only be available. He didn't answer whether or not tier 4 weapons would be available earlier. We can only assume that the Ant Scepter must be a tier 4 item, and it must be available for everyone since the Ants Queens are going to be available for everyone. You don't have to begin New Game Plus. More interesting news, the spicy taupes that we saw, I presume they would be available in New Game Plus, but Eric said they may only spawn in some of the New Game Plus playthroughs. Remember, in terms of the story, these are new alternate universes, so the idea is that one New Game Plus might have spicy taupes and they're going to be a new candy, so it does look like there will be combinations of candy now, or certainly the powers they give you, rolled into one. That's a theory I've seen and spoken about today, in fact, in Discord, that we've seen possibly like the mint and sour combined in the Claymore from the trailer for the Switch that we saw a good few weeks ago. And we've seen from some of the other new weapons, they don't necessarily look too fiery red like some of the other spicy cha-cha stuff, but they do look a little bit golden coloured. So I think that's going to be the case, that some of these new candies, they will only be available in certain New Game Plus run-throughs. Which stands to reason that some weapons you won't be able to get until you've done maybe multiple New Game Plus playthroughs. There was a bunch of other questions related to the ongoing future Grounded, and they've been pretty much a bit cagey. Obviously, like I said, hotfixes, no news about the animated TV show, doesn't look like there's any showcases highlighting anything coming up on PlayStation or Switch before the actual update and the launch on them platforms. Eric did allude that the day after launch they are going to have the game devs on the Casually Grounded show to answer questions. And I think that's the most important stuff. If I missed anything, I apologise, but you can go and check out the full vlog. It will be up on their Twitch channel, and they do re-upload this on YouTube in the coming days. Look out for some of my shorts where I'll recap any of this and anything I might have missed. But that's the biggest news. No new creatures at all, other than the Ant Queens and the baby ants. No new buildables, 100% scorecard doesn't require gold cards, and you'll have to replay a bunch of New Game Pluses to get full access to new candy types. As always, I'll be there first and soon with more Grounded content. Until next time, ratbags, laters.